Tucked into the rolling hills of Beverly Hills, hidden behind sculpted hedges and private gates, stands a mansion worth $85 million. But this is more than just a home. It's a world where sunlight pours through towering glass walls, and every line, every corner echoes discipline and ambition. Who lives here? Ryan Seacrest, the voice of New Year's Eve, the face of American Idol, and the mind behind a media empire. Today, we step inside his kingdom, where success never sleeps and luxury knows no limits. Before the red carpets, before the multi-million-dollar contracts, before the world heard him say, "This is American Idol," Ryan Seacrest was just a boy in Atlanta with a toy microphone and a dream that refused to quiet down. He wasn't like the other kids. While others played with action figures or kicked a ball across the yard, young Ryan would stand in front of the mirror pretending to host his own radio show. His mother, Constance, remembers it clearly. "He was always performing," she once said, "always holding a microphone, even if it was a spoon." At just 16, while still a student at Dunwoody High School, Ryan landed a life-changing internship at WSTR Radio in Atlanta. It was supposed to be a behind-the-scenes gig, but when a DJ called in sick one night, mentor Tom Sullivan turned to the teen and said, "Kid, you're up." That night, a future legend took the mic and never gave it back. After graduating in 1992, Seacrest briefly enrolled at the University of Georgia, continuing to work in local radio. But the call of something bigger, brighter, was too strong to ignore. At just 19, he packed his bags and headed west. Los Angeles wasn't ready, but Ryan was. The early years in LA were anything but glamorous. He hustled for every opportunity. Game shows like Gladiators 2000, Click, Wild Animal Games, shows that barely scratched the ratings, but taught him the rhythm of television. He wasn't famous yet, but he was learning how to run the room, how to charm a camera, how to control the air. And then came 2002. American Idol arrived like a thunderclap. At first, he shared the stage with comedian Brian Dunkelman, but by season 2, Seacrest stood alone, America's guide through drama, dreams, and eliminations. His voice became a national ritual, his face a staple in households from coast to coast. The numbers were staggering, 26 million viewers a week. And behind that calm, polished smile was a business mind already planning the next move. By 2005, he wasn't just a host. He was the chosen heir to a television legacy, stepping into Dick Clark's shoes as co-host and later full host of New Year's Rockin' Eve. The tradition was sacred, and Seacrest treated it with reverence. But he also brought new energy. Ratings soared, and a new generation welcomed him as their voice of midnight. But Seacrest didn't stop there. While others might have rested on fame, he began building something bigger: Ryan Seacrest Productions. Behind the scenes, he created one of the most influential reality empires in history, keeping up with the Kardashians. Kourtney and Kim Take New York, Khloe and Lamar, Shahs of Sunset, Jamie Oliver's Food Revolution. These weren't just shows. They were cultural movements, and Ryan was quietly steering the ship. He didn't just host television, he shaped it. Along the way, he signed multi-million-dollar deals with E!, NBC Universal, and ABC. He became the face of E! News, covered the Olympics, and co-hosted Live with Kelly and Ryan, one of daytime TV's biggest stages. And all the while, he never left radio. His voice still greeted millions each morning on Air with Ryan Seacrest, keeping him grounded in the medium that started it all. Even in 2023, with new gigs like Wheel of Fortune ahead, Ryan Seacrest remains a figure of tireless ambition. A man who wakes up earlier, works longer, and builds wider than most can imagine. From a teenager whispering into a plastic mic in Atlanta, to the king of entertainment in Hollywood. The journey wasn't luck. It was obsession, precision, and that relentless, almost mathematical pursuit of excellence. And with that mindset, it's no wonder his home looks like the headquarters of a mogul. So now, Let's pull open the doors of his private world and step into a mansion that reflects everything he's built. Mansion in Beverly Hills. Imagine standing at the top of a winding road in Beverly Hills. Below you, the city of angels, glittering like a galaxy. Behind you, steel gates slowly open to reveal one of the most exquisite modern estates in all of Los Angeles. This isn't just any home. It's Ryan Seacrest's $85 million sanctuary, a place where glass meets sky, where every line is clean, and where calm luxury embraces you from the moment you arrive. The estate stretches across multiple acres of prime 90210 hillside, completely private, utterly peaceful, and breathtakingly designed. The main house alone spans 9,000 square feet, wrapped in minimalist elegance and framed by floor-to-ceiling windows that dissolve the boundary between indoor and out. White walls, pale oak floors, and natural textures flow through the home like a quiet rhythm. Light floods every room, dancing off sculpted surfaces and casting soft shadows that shift with the day. It's not just brightness, it's balance. The entry leads you into a soaring open-plan living space. High ceilings stretch upward like a breath held in glass, while the main sitting area opens onto a multi-tiered patio, inviting you to follow the sunshine out into the open air. To the left, a dining room that feels both formal and fluid, anchored by a sculptural table, softened by neutral tones, and connected to the garden by sliding glass walls. And then, the kitchen. Sleek, spacious, and stunningly simple. Custom cabinetry lines the space like a designer's dream, paired with marble counters and top-of-the-line appliances. This is a room built for hosting, whether it's a brunch with friends, a tasting dinner with Napa wines, or a quiet morning with black coffee and a script. The 4 bedrooms are each retreats of their own, not merely spaces to sleep, but cocoons of light and calm. The primary suite is especially cinematic. A massive room with a fireplace, seating area, and full glass wall that opens onto a private balcony overlooking the canyon below. And the bathroom? A spa-like haven. Think freestanding tub, open rain shower, warm stone finishes, and glass panels that make you feel like you're bathing in the clouds. But perhaps what makes this estate feel like a true resort is what's beyond the walls. Step into the outdoor pavilion and you'll find a custom-designed swimming pool, wide, inviting, and flanked by a fully equipped pool house for lounging or entertaining. There's a sun deck perfect for golden hour gatherings and garden paths lined with manicured hedges that wind through the grounds like something from a European villa. Need a moment of solitude? There are 2 separate guest houses tucked into the property, ideal for visiting family, close friends, or private staff. And for Seacrest, who's known for hosting both co-workers and celebrities, it's a layout that offers both intimacy and control. Inside the estate, every detail has a purpose. There's a home theater for private screenings, a wine cellar carved into cool stone, a fully outfitted gym, and even a massage room. Because when you run a media empire, recovery is just as important as hustle. But this house isn't loud. It doesn't scream wealth. It whispers style, precision, and power. All the things Ryan Seacrest built his career on. It's a reflection of the man himself, meticulous, modern, and always in motion. You won't find clutter or chaos here, just calm, confidence, and endless California light. And yet, as spectacular as this Beverly Hills estate is, it's only one part of the story. Because when Seacrest craves deeper calm, when he wants to step away from the speed of the industry and slow down to the rhythm of nature, he heads north, to the rolling vineyards of Napa Valley, where the air is thicker, the nights are quieter, and a different kind of luxury unfolds. Let's go there next. Mansion in Napa Valley. If Beverly Hills is Ryan Seacrest's kingdom of precision and performance, then Napa Valley is his escape, a place where time slows, silence speaks, and luxury takes on a softer tone. Nestled among the rolling vineyards and golden hills of California's wine country, Ryan's $22 million Napa estate is the kind of home you don't just visit, you feel. The moment you arrive, it's like being transported to Tuscany. Stone walls, carved archways, rustic shutters, and a warm Mediterranean palate embrace you before you even step inside. Built in Tuscan Mediterranean style, the villa spreads out like a romantic poem. Low-slung and sprawling, with courtyards, fountains, and olive trees guiding your way through the grounds. Inside, the home is a masterclass in texture and tone. Exposed wooden beams stretch across soaring ceilings. Walls made from hand-cut limestone create an earthy, old-world charm. And light pours in through arched windows and massive pocket doors that slide entirely into the walls, blurring the line between inside and out. At over 10,750 square feet, the villa features 5 bedrooms and 6.5 bathrooms, each one infused with natural elegance. But this isn't a house built to impress. It's built to breathe. There are 7 fireplaces throughout, some carved into ancient stone, others tucked into cozy nooks for wine and conversation. And everywhere you look, there's a view. Of vineyard rows that stretch toward the horizon, of soft hills dotted with wildflowers, of the sky turning pink at dusk. The kitchen is both rustic and refined, with stone countertops, custom cabinetry, and a massive island perfect for wine tastings or olive oil-drenched feasts. The dining room opens directly into a central courtyard, where guests gather under twinkling lights and the branches of old trees. Outside, the scene unfolds like a private resort. There's an infinity-edge pool that seems to spill directly into the vines. A spa tucked just beyond it, waiting for long evening soaks under the stars. A bocce court, inviting lazy afternoons of friendly competition. And lining the property, 220 imported Italian olive trees, swaying gently in the wind like they've been there for centuries. For those lucky enough to be invited, there's a separate guest cottage and a fully equipped pool house, ensuring everyone has space to unwind. And unwind they do. This is where Ryan Seacrest brings his closest friends, far from the flashbulbs and deadlines of Los Angeles. Here, the rhythm is different. It's not about ratings or red carpets. It's about walking barefoot across cool tile floors, pouring a glass of your own vintage, sitting on the terrace in the morning fog. This home is more than an estate. It's a sensory retreat, a world built on peace, privacy, and a deep respect for the land. It's where the man known for speed and schedules finally slows down, where the voice of America becomes quiet. And yet, even here, in this quiet Eden, one part of Ryan Seacrest always remains in motion. Because when the roads call and the keys hit his palm, it's time for another kind of escape. The kind that roars to life with the turn of an engine. Let's open the garage and meet the machines that move the mogul. Cars. Aston Martin DB9. The moment you see it, you understand. With its graceful curves and British poise, the Aston Martin DB9 is not just a car. It's a statement. Under the hood, a 6.0-liter V12 engine hums with 470 horsepower, but it's not the numbers that matter. It's the feeling. When Ryan first slid into the leather-wrapped driver's seat, it wasn't about speed. It was about presence. This is the car he drives when elegance matters, when he's hosting a gala or arriving at an awards show. Midnight silver paint, chrome accents. It's as much a tuxedo as it is a vehicle. A car that doesn't need to shout, because it's already been heard. Chevrolet Corvette. C8. But not every day is about quiet class. Sometimes Ryan wants to feel the road fight back a little, to remember his American roots and the thrill of a well-built machine. That's when the Chevrolet Corvette C8 comes out to play. With a 6.2-liter V8 engine and up to 495 horsepower, the C8 is a different beast entirely. Mid-engine, low-slung, and born to dominate open highways. There's a sense of youth in this car, a wink to his Atlanta beginnings, his days racing from radio station to studio, living off adrenaline and ambition. And maybe that's why this one's often reserved for the weekends. For early morning drives along the Pacific Coast Highway, top down, engine purring, and the ocean to his left. Bold, fast, proudly American. Just like the man who made a name out of nothing but voice, charm, and grit. Aston Martin Vantage. Smaller, sharper, more personal. The Aston Martin Vantage is where design meets emotion. It's the car for those moments when Seacrest doesn't want attention, but still wants to feel something at every turn. With a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8, sharp handling, and a cockpit that wraps around the driver. This is his solo thoughts at sunset kind of ride. Imagine him cruising through Laurel Canyon at dusk, music low, thoughts racing faster than the tires. This car isn't about status. It's about connection. Together, these cars don't just show wealth, they show taste, control, a balance between showtime and solitude. Each engine note tells a different story. Each drive, a reset between boardrooms, broadcast studios, and private dinners under vineyard skies. For Ryan Seacrest, cars aren't collectibles. They're companions. Each one chosen with the same precision that shaped his career. Each one part of the rhythm that keeps him, always, in motion. And yet, beyond the steering wheels and studio lights, there's something else driving him. Something even more powerful than speed. It's the empire he's quietly built, and the fortune that fuels it. Let's take a closer look at the numbers behind the name. $500 million. That's the estimated net worth of Ryan Seacrest. But how did a kid from Atlanta, armed with nothing but a microphone and relentless energy, build $500 million in wealth? It started with a voice, and then it became a vision. Today, his fortune supports not just homes in Beverly Hills and Napa, but a lifestyle of quiet precision. One where wealth is not worn for applause, but used as a tool to create more content, more opportunity, more impact. But what makes his success truly lasting is what he gives back, and the hearts he's helped heal along the way. Let's now explore the foundation at the center of his compassion, and the kids whose voices he helped find. Philanthropy. It began, as many meaningful things do, with a question. How do you give joy to those who need it most, in a place filled with fear and fluorescent lights? Ryan Seacrest found his answer not in a studio or boardroom, but in a hospital room. In the quiet, sterile halls of children's hospitals, where courage is measured not in headlines, but in heartbeats. And so, in 2010, he launched the Ryan Seacrest Foundation, a nonprofit that doesn't just donate money, it builds dreams. At the center of the foundation's mission is Seacrest Studios, state-of-the-art radio and television broadcast centers built inside children's hospitals across the U.S. These aren't just playrooms. They're places where young patients become DJs, interview celebrities, host shows, and feel, for a moment, like stars in their own stories. Not patients, not diagnoses, just voices. The first studio opened in his hometown, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and from there, it spread to Philadelphia, Dallas, Boston, Los Angeles, Nashville, Cincinnati, Orlando, Washington, D.C., New York, and most recently, Utah. As of 2025, there are 14 studios and more on the way. Each studio is custom designed with full broadcast capabilities, cameras, green screens, audio booths, all sized for little hands and big imaginations. Children interview musicians. They talk to athletes. They create playlists, tell jokes, read the weather. And the best part? It all streams to the patient rooms throughout the hospital, so even those too sick to leave their beds can tune in and smile. In 2012, Seacrest appointed Selena Gomez as the foundation's first official ambassador, a move that brought even more light and visibility to the cause. Together, they brought music, laughter, and hope to kids who needed it most. In 2017, the foundation partnered with the Atlanta Braves to launch awareness campaigns during games at SunTrust Park, reminding the world that behind Ryan's camera-ready charm is a man deeply committed to making a difference. But this isn't just charity for headlines. It's personal. Seacrest shows up at ribbon cuttings, at bedside visits, at spontaneous dance parties in the middle of hospital lobbies. He's not the host in those moments. He's the listener. And the impact ripples outward. Parents have written letters saying Seacrest Studios gave their child the first moment of joy they'd had in months. Doctors have seen how creativity reduces fear, how imagination aids recovery. And children, some of whom will never leave those hospitals, have found their voices through a microphone, just like Ryan did so many years ago. It's a full-circle story. A boy with a mic grows into a man who hands that mic to others, and in doing so, proves that real success isn't just measured in millions, but in memories, in meaning, in how loudly you let others be heard. But beyond the charity, the cameras, and the contracts, who is Ryan Seacrest when no one's watching? Let's step away from the studios and into the quiet corners of his personal life. Personal life. Strip away the bright lights, turn off the countdown clocks and the red carpet flashes. What's left behind is a man who lives with intention, quietly, rhythmically, and always just a little ahead of the curve. Ryan Seacrest may be one of the busiest figures in entertainment, but in his private life, he's a man who treasures routine, simplicity, and the rare moments when he's not on. Over the years, Ryan's personal life has drawn its fair share of public attention. Romances with Sarah Jean Underwood, Julianne Hough, and Shayna Taylor made headlines. But unlike many of his Hollywood peers, he's never been one to chase the spotlight outside of work. In fact, Seacrest guards his private world with quiet resolve. Today, he lives between two havens: his Beverly Hills estate, where work and luxury intersect, and his Napa Valley villa, where he slips into nature, into silence, into peace. His daily routine is legendary among close friends. Mornings start early, often before the sun, with a cold plunge or a quiet moment of meditation. Then it's straight into hosting his long-running radio show, On Air with Ryan Seacrest. Even when he's not on camera, the voice must be ready, polished, precise. After that comes movement, a workout, a run through the hills, or a carefully crafted training session in his home gym. Health and discipline are core values for him, not just for appearance, but for energy, longevity. Meals are simple, clean, often plant-based, often homemade, often shared with a small group of friends or team members who've been with him for years. There's no chaos in his kitchen, just rhythm, control, and a little olive oil from his Napa estate. And then, there are the quiet passions. Ryan loves to cook, not just for Instagram, but for real people, in real time. He finds joy in the texture of a perfect risotto, the sound of garlic hitting a hot pan, the silence that falls when good food meets good company. He's also a lover of design, interiors that breathe, textures that calm. He personally oversaw elements of both his homes, from the flow of the living spaces to the materials used on the floors and walls. To Ryan, design isn't about status, it's about peace. It's about functionality wrapped in elegance. Despite his massive success, Seacrest has no need to fill every moment with noise. In fact, those who know him best say his favorite moments are the ones no one sees, walking barefoot through the olive trees in Napa, lighting a fire on a cool California night, quietly reflecting on how far he's come. There's no big entourage, no drama, just a handful of people who know the difference between Ryan the icon and Ryan the man. And perhaps that's what defines his lifestyle most. Not the price tags, not the parties, but the balance. The way he moves effortlessly between the chaos of live television and the stillness of his own sanctuary. Because for Ryan Seacrest, the greatest luxury isn't found in the flash. It's in control. In creating a life so well designed, it runs like clockwork, even when the world doesn't. But the question remains, with so much accomplished and so many empires already built, what could possibly be next? That's a question only time, and Ryan Seacrest, can answer. From a toy microphone in Atlanta to a $500 million media empire, Ryan Seacrest's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. He built a life where every detail, from his cars to his courtyards, reflects vision, balance, and drive. So now we ask you, which part of his unstoppable lifestyle inspired you most? If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. There's more to come, always.